Hello, book family. Welcome to my bookshelves. I don't think I've shown my bookshelves for a long time. Currently, you're sitting on top of one of my daughter's toys because I don't have a tripod. So, anyway, I kind of like the way it looks. I mean, the shelves are messy, and I have like no organization whatsoever pretty much on my shelves. I know that would probably drive some of you like absolutely insane, but they kind of just got put where they fit. So anyway, it works for the moment. Someday I would like to organize them better. I sort of have some of my read books on the top of the shelf and then other ones, and I have all my nonfiction upstairs for the most part. But yeah, there's like no rhyme or reason. And then these are my daughter's books. And anyway, so I am here to talk to you about the books that I'm hoping to read in April. So I am not quite as late this month as I was the last 2 months. So if I can get this video edited, we'll be on good track. We are already a week into April, but oh well. And I have already read one of these books, but I had written down my TBR before that, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, so I did play my TBR code names, so I'm going to insert a clip right here, and then when you come back, you can see what I picked. Alright, we are back for round number 3 of TBR code names, and today I'm going to be using the regular code names. I didn't want to use the Disney one this time. I wanted a little bit more to see what other prompts we can get instead. So yeah, so we're going to be using the regular one instead. So let me set this up. All right, here is our spread. Here's the map that I randomly chose. Now we're going to get Alexa to pick a color for us. Alexa, pick a color between red, blue, or beige.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Okay, never mind. I have to ask ChatGPT. All right, ChatGPT chose blue, so we're going to turn this around and stop. And this is how we're going to lay it out. So I'll be back when I do that. Okay, this is all of the top things except for the blue ones. So let's see what we've got. So we've got Temple, Himalayas. That one is going to be interesting. Sorry, it's not focusing. Whale. That one will be interesting too. America. That one should be pretty easy. We have Engine, Unicorn. Not sure what I'm going to do with that one, but we'll see. Pan and what is this one? Leprechaun. I don't know what we're going to do with that one either, but we'll figure it out. All right. So the picks for April for my TBR code names were Leprechaun, Pan, Unicorn, Engine, America, Whale, Himalayas, and Temple. So the very first one that I picked was for Leprechaun. And that one, I'm going to be reading Courting Miss Lancaster by Sarah M. Eden. And I'm stretching this for that prompt, if you can only guess, because in the synopsis, it says about her having green eyes and blonde hair, I believe. And you can see on the cover that she has blonde hair. But I was like, okay, well, she has green eyes, and leprechauns usually wear green. So that's where I am taking that, and it's my game, so I can do what I want. And then next, the next pick was Pan, and I picked the Thursday Murder Club for that. And give me a second, because I don't remember why I picked this one for that. I remember now, and this is stretching too, and this can be, so a pan, I was thinking in Clue, like that can be like a weapon, and I know this is stretching it, but this is called the Thursday Murder Club, so I was thinking weapon. Anyway, I know it's stretching it, but I can do what I want. So, and I wanted to read this in January and I never got to it. So I actually have it. I have it on Libby. I had it on hold and it actually came in. So I'm hoping to actually be able to read that one this month, because I can only read so many physical books because of children. So anyway, so yeah, that's why I picked that one. So the next one was Unicorn, The Penderwicks at Last by Jan Birdsall. And that is the last book in the Penderwick series. And the reason I picked this book for Unicorn was because the main character, she really, when she was a little girl, she loved unicorns and butterflies and all that kind of stuff. So that, I think, counts anyway, even though she's older in this book. So but it's kind of like nostalgia because they go back to the original setting of the very first Penderwick book. So I'm making that one count for this one. So the next one was Engine. And that for that one, this book is on my 26 books in 2026, and that's The Christmas Bus by Melody Carlson. And I have this one. I want to read at least one Christmas book per month. And I've only read 2 Christmas books so far this year. So I'm 2 for 3, but I would like to get to this one if I can. The next prompt was America, and that is this buddy read that I'm doing with Whitney from I think it's Whitney Marie Reads. I'll link her down below, of course. We both happen to have this book on our shelves, and the reason that this book fits for the America prompt is because it's set in Tarpon Springs, Florida. So, and we've already started that. We're just going a chapter a day, but I'm really enjoying it so far. It's interesting. It's about sponge divers, which I never thought that was a thing. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm finding it very intriguing so far. So anyway, the next prompt that I have is Whale, and that for that one, I am buddy reading Jurassic Park with my sister. And I know there's not technically a whale in Jurassic Park, but I'm kind of going like, whales are really big and dinosaurs are really big too. So, and they kind of have that otherworldly kind of feel. I know that whales are in our timeline, but anyway, I'm making it count. So, now the next prompt was the Himalayas, and now this one, I'm a little nervous to say that I'm going to be reading this book, but I wanted to read this book before. I should probably just tell you what book it is first. We just live in such a politically divisive climate, and anyway, Hillbilly Elegy by J.D. Vance. I actually found out about this book a few years ago from a Debbie Maycomer book. I don't even remember which one it was, but the one lady in the story was a librarian. She said Hillbilly Elegy, and she said what it was about, and I was like, oh, that sounds really interesting. Anyway, and I had no idea that J.D. Vance, who wrote this book, was then the vice president now until, like, right before the election happened. So anyway, I still want to read it. It sounds interesting, and I guess if you have a problem with it and you comment about it, I'll delete your comment. So anyway, I'm not trying to be divisive here, but I still want to read the book. So I also forgot to tell you what this book is about. This is J.D. Vance's, I think you call it a memoir, of him growing up in the Appalachian Mountains and growing up poor. So anyway, it sounded very interesting, and it's supposed to be like a cultural commentary, and I am very interested in those kind of things. So, editing Hannah here. I even forgot to tell you why This book I thought fits with this prompt because it is not set in the Himalayas. However, it is set in the Appalachian Mountains. So, Appalachian, however you say that. So I was taking one mountain and making it count for the other. So that is why Hillbilly Elegy fits for the Himalayas prompt. So anyway, back to the video. Anyway, moving on from that. The next book that I'm going to read for Temple is A Voice in the Wind by Francine Rivers, and I have never read this book. This one is going to be for Oshina's challenge. And obviously, because it's set in Rome, there's going to be temples in here. And so I'm a little nervous because I feel like this one is going to be a little, like a lot. I've really been enjoying the Francine Rivers challenge, though. I had some issues with Redeeming Love when I read it the first time, and I've heard that this one is kind of in that same, like it's a lot in kind of in the same ways. So I don't know, we'll see. But this is a chunky book, very chunky. All of her books seem to be like so long. This one is over 500 pages. So anyway. So, alright, so those are the books for my TBR code names. Now, I have a few other books that I would like to get to this month. The first one is Crank Palace by James Dashner, and that one tells the story of Newt. If you've read the Maze Runner series, you should know that. But that just kind of tells about Newt's descent into madness. And then the next one is 7 Seconds by Bethany Klassen. I wanted to read this. This is an arc that I have. She asked me to read it. The author asked me to read it, and I haven't got to it yet, and I just need to get to it. And it's a sweet Western romance, so I want to get to that one. The next book that I want to read is called Mildly Forgetful, Manly in Love by Beatrix Quinn, and the author also asked me to read this, and I want to read this book because I think it's going to be perfect for the Read Happy Readathon, and it's about an older couple who I think are in their 40s or 50s. And you kind of don't really get that a lot, and I believe she's a Christian author as well, and you always get like the characters that are in their 20s, 30s, whatever, and I think the Mildly Forgetful, I don't know, maybe they're like older than 50s, I don't know, but it sounds adorable and I want to read it. She asked me to read it months ago, so anyway. Now, the next book that I wanted to read was A Place in the Sun by Michael Phillips. I have that one here. I put this on hold at the library, and this is the, I believe, fourth book in the Journals of Corey Bell Hollister. I read the third book back in March, and then I also have an audiobook of Mrs. Porter Calling, and I believe this is the second one in the Emmy Lake Chronicles. The Emmy Lake Chronicles. And I wanted to get to this one because I'm really, really trying to read down my series. So, anyway. So the next book that I want to read for the Read Happy Readathon is The Magic of Lemon Drop Pie by Rachel Linden. I've heard this has kind of got a magical realism feel, and if you don't know, magical realism is literally one of my favorite things to read. I picked up a Sarah Addison Allen book accidentally in the library one time, and I had no idea what magical realism was at that time, but it was wonderful. And so I read a bunch of her other ones, and I loved it. So I'm all for trying a new book with magical realism. Now, the next book that I have is Louisa May Alcott's The Woman Behind Little Women by Harriet Raisin. This one I'm going to read, hopefully it counts, for Anne at In Search of Wonders Classic Challenge, because this month is to read a biography or a memoir. So this one sounded interesting, and I love Little Women. So I would really like to read this one, and hopefully it counts. Anyway, a new Debbie Macomber book. It's not new. It's new to me. This is 16 Lighthouse Road, and this is the first book in the Cedar Cove series. And I finished the last series that I did with it was called the Blossom Street series by Debbie Maycomer, and she writes primarily like women's fiction / romance kind of, and I just really, she has this way of writing that is just so good at, I don't know, just real life stories. And they're not always like super realistic or whatever, but they're just fun to read and good palate cleansers in my opinion. So I really want to get to this one, and if I don't get to it this month, I can always renew it. So, and then the next one I want to read, Brides and Blessings by Molly Noble Bull. I've had this book on my shelf forever and ever and ever. I literally do not remember even how I got this one. So anyway, hold on. I have to go get my son. Okay, I am back. Now, what was I talking about? I think I was talking about this, but he's playing in the background. Hi, Bubby. Him and his sister are coming off of a week of being sick, so he's still got a lingering cough for some reason. So anyways, spring cannot come to stay for like any sooner, that's for sure. Like, it can hurry up. So anyway, I was talking about this book. I would like to get to this one at some point this year because it's on my 26 books to read in 2026. This is actress Suzanne Condry took a tough role when she traded lives with her twin sister Holly. Suzanne needed to get away from Hollywood, and Holly believed Suzanne might find both peace and faith in charming Oak Valley. Now, that sounds very interesting, which is why I have not gotten rid of this book. So, why have I not read it yet? Like, I literally do not remember where I got this from. So, anyway, so on that note, here's another book that I've had forever and ever too, and this was on, I believe my, was it last TBR? No. It was February's TBR. The Rancher's Reunion by Tina Radcliffe. It's a love-inspired book, and there's no way that, the pages turned. There's no way that this can take very long to read because it's a large print book. Right here, it says that. So, I don't know. I don't know why I haven't read these books yet. Anyway, so, next book. I have another book from a series that just has one book left, and I haven't finished it. And this is The Pursuit by Lori Wick, and I really enjoyed the rest of the series. I gave them, I think most of them, 4 stars each. It's a 4-book series. This is the 4th book in the English Garden series, and I really want to finish it because I really have enjoyed the other books. So, we'll see if I get to that one too. And speaking of books I haven't read yet, guys, I've been reading this book for 2 years. When am I going to finish it? Anyway. So, I don't know. Maybe eventually. But I would like to at least work on getting it done this month. So, anyway. The last book that I have written down, and I have started this book actually, The Indian in the Cupboard by Lynn Reed Banks. And what I've read so far, I haven't gotten very far. It's just like that. It's interesting, and it's kind of got that magical realism feel too that I love. That's like low fantasy kind of feel, and I really enjoy that. So I would really, really like to finish this, honestly. So yeah, I think that's all. I forgot to tell you another book that I forgot to tell you that I'm reading, and this one is for my pick for me pick from the Christian Fiction Devourers group. That is called Echoes from a Missing Generation by Christina Suzanne Nelson. And I've read 2 books by this author before, and I've rated the first book I read by her, The Way It Should Be, 4 stars. And then the other one that I read by her, forget what that one was called. It had something to do with a missing little girl. I'll pop the cover up here if I remember. But I rated that one 5 stars, and I really, really loved it. So, yeah, I really want to get to that one as well. And I found that one on audio, so I usually try to find those picks on audio so I can just listen to them while I'm like doing my housework and stuff. So you can probably hear him grunting in the background. Hi, Bubby. Anyways, alright, so that is it for my TBR for April. Have you read any of these books? And if you have, let me know what you thought of them down in the comments below. Since it is springtime and we are having sort of good weather sometimes, why don't you drop some, and oh yeah, and all the grass is turning green again. Why don't you drop something green down in the comments below? Until next time, friends, I'll see you later.